Welcome to a new episode of Sleep Journey Through Lost Worlds, your podcast for relaxing, letting go, and learning. Are you familiar with our other Sleep Journey series, such as Sleep Journey Through the Universe? Tonight, we embark on a voyage to one of humanity's most breathtaking archaeological wonders, a place where stone and sky meet in perfect harmony, where ancient wisdom whispers through terraced gardens and granite temples. Let yourself sink deeper into comfort as we journey together to Machu Picchu, the lost city of the Inca. Close your eyes for a moment, take a slow, deep breath in through your palm, and release it gently through your mouth. Feel your body becoming heavier, more relaxed. With each breath, you're leaving behind the concerns of today, preparing to travel not just through space, but through time itself. We begin our journey high in the Andes Mountains of Peru, where the air grows thin and clouds dance between peaks like living things. Machu Picchu sits at an elevation of 2,430 meters above sea level, cradled between two mountain peaks, Machu Picchu, meaning Old Peak, and Huayna Picchu, meaning Young Peak. The city itself rests on a narrow ridge, suspended between earth and heaven, a testament to the extraordinary vision and skill of the Inca civilization. Picture yourself standing at the sun gate, Intihuatana, as the first rays of dawn illuminate the ancient city below. The Inca built this remarkable settlement in the 15th century, likely during the reign of Emperor Pachacuti, who ruled from 1438 to 1472. Pachacuti, whose name means earthshaker, transformed the Inca from a small kingdom into the vast Tawantinsuyu Empire, stretching across western South America. Let your breathing slow even more. In and out. Feel yourself transported across centuries. Machu Picchu was constructed around 1450 CCE and occupied for approximately 100 years before being abandoned around the time of the Spanish conquest. But here's something remarkable. The Spanish conquistadors never found this city. While they destroyed Cusco and countless other Inca sites, Machu Picchu remained hidden, protected by its remote location and the dense cloud forest that embraced it. The city slept, undisturbed by European eyes, for nearly 400 years. The site consists of approximately 200 structures, carefully organized into distinct sectors. There's the agricultural zone with its terraced fields, the urban sector with residential buildings, and the sacred sector containing temples and ceremonial spaces. The Inca built all of this without the wheel, without iron tools, and without written language as we understand it. Instead, they used stone hammers and bronze chisels, along with their profound understanding of astronomy, agriculture, and engineering. As you relax deeper, imagine running your hands along the perfectly fitted stones. The Inca employed a technique called ashlar masonry, cutting and shaping stones so precisely that they fit together without mortar. Many of these joints are so tight that you cannot slide a piece of paper between them. Some stones have as many as 30 angles, yet they interlock perfectly with their neighbors. This technique wasn't merely aesthetic. It made the structures earthquake-resistant, allowing them to move slightly during seismic activity without collapsing. The largest stones at Machu Picchu weigh up to 50 tons. Consider that for a moment. The Inca quarried these massive blocks, transported them to the site, shaped them with incredible precision, and lifted them into place, all without modern machinery. They likely used log rollers, rope made from plant fibers, and the coordinated effort of hundreds of workers, guided by master stonemasons whose knowledge was passed down through generations. Let's walk through the city together, in your mind's eye. Feel your footsteps on the ancient pathways, worn smooth by countless Inca feet. We enter through the agricultural sector, where approximately 40 terraces step down the mountainside like a giant staircase. These andines, as they're called, served multiple purposes. Yes, they created flat planting surfaces on the steep slope, but they also prevented erosion, improved drainage, and created microclimates where different crops could thrive at slightly different temperatures. The Inca grew maize, potatoes, quinoa, and other crops here, enough to feed the estimated 750 people who lived in the city at its peak. The terraces contain carefully layered fill, large stones at the bottom for drainage, then smaller stones, then gravel, then sandy soil, and finally a rich topsoil on top. This sophisticated design kept the walls from becoming waterlogged and collapsing during the heavy rains that frequent this region. The Inca understood their environment intimately, working with nature rather than against it. Breathe in slowly. Imagine the scent of earth and growing things, the coolness of mist on your face. We climb the stairs to the urban sector, where stone houses cluster along narrow streets. Most residents lived in simple rectangular buildings with thatched roofs made from ichu grass. The walls, made of fieldstone set in mud mortar, were then covered with a clay plaster. These homes typically had one room, with a door and sometimes a few small niches built into the walls for storage. There were no windows in the traditional sense, and no furniture as we know it. The Inca sat and slept on the floor, using woven textiles for comfort and warmth. The more important structures, however, were built with the finest masonry. The royal residences and temples used the ashlar technique we discussed earlier, with stones so perfectly cut that they showcase the Incas' supreme craftsmanship. Now we approach the Intihuatana stone, one of the most sacred objects in Machu Picchu. Its name means hitching post of the sun, and this carved granite pillar served as a solar clock or calendar. The Inca were master astronomers, and they designed this stone to cast specific shadows during solstices and equinoxes. On the winter solstice, June 21st in the southern hemisphere, the sun stands almost directly above the pillar at midday, casting virtually no shadow. This astronomical precision allowed the Inca to track the seasons, essential for an agricultural society. The Intihuatana also held spiritual significance. The Inca believed they could tie the sun to this stone, preventing it from disappearing during the winter solstice and ensuring its return. Throughout the Inca Empire, similar stones served as ritual centers, though the Spanish destroyed most of them. They believed that breaking these stones would break the Incas' connection to their gods. But they never found Machu Picchu, so this Intihuatana survived intact, still reaching toward the sky after 5 centuries. Let yourself drift deeper into relaxation. Your body is heavy, peaceful, supported. We move now to the Temple of the Sun, perhaps the most beautiful structure in all of Machu Picchu. This curved building, also called the Torreon, sits atop a natural rock outcropping and features some of the finest stonework in the entire city. The Inca carved the living bedrock beneath the temple into ceremonial platforms and created a cave-like space called the Royal Tomb, though no bodies were ever found there. The temple has two trapezoidal windows, a distinctive Inca architectural feature. One window aligns precisely with the point where the sun rises on the winter solstice, allowing sunlight to flood into the temple on that sacred day. The Inca worshipped Inti, the sun god, as one of their most important deities. The emperor himself was considered the son of the sun, and temples dedicated to Inti received lavish attention and resources. Imagine standing in this temple as dawn breaks on the solstice, watching golden light stream through the window, illuminating the carefully carved stone. The Inca would have performed ceremonies here, offering chicha corn beer, and perhaps sacrificing llamas to honor Inti and ensure the sun's continued journey across the sky. Nearby stands the Temple of the Three Windows, a hall with three large trapezoidal windows facing east, toward the rising sun. Some scholars believe these windows represent the three levels of the Inca cosmology: the underworld, or Uku Pacha, the earthly realm, or Que Pacha, and the celestial realm, or Hanan Pacha. The Inca believed that humans, animals, plants, and even stones possess spirits, and that maintaining balance between these three worlds was essential. Your breathing is slow and steady now. Let each exhale carry away any remaining tension. The water management system at Machu Picchu reveals yet another layer of Inca ingenuity. The city features 16 fountains, fed by a spring located about half a kilometer away at an elevation slightly higher than the city itself. The Inca engineered a stone canal system that brought this water to the urban sector, where it flowed from fountain to fountain in a carefully designed sequence. The channels slope at precisely the right angle to maintain steady flow without erosion. During the rainy season, approximately 800 gallons of water per minute flow through this ancient system, which still functions today, more than 500 years after its construction. The first fountain sat near the Temple of the Sun and likely served ceremonial purposes, providing water for ritual cleansing and offerings. The subsequent fountains served the residential population, offering fresh water for drinking, cooking, and bathing. The Inca understood hydraulics and hydrology in ways that continue to impress modern engineers. Machu Picchu also features an extensive drainage system, absolutely critical in a location that receives about 80 inches of rain annually. The Inca built approximately 130 drainage channels, most of them underground, to channel rainwater away from the structures. They also created agricultural drainage and slope stabilization systems that prevented landslides and erosion. Approximately 60% of the construction effort at Machu Picchu went into these underground foundations and drainage systems, invisible to casual observers, but essential to the city's survival. Let's pause here for a moment of meditation. Visualize yourself sitting on one of the terraces, looking out over the Urubamba River far below as it winds through the sacred valley. The river, which the Inca called Wilcanuta or House of the Sun, was itself sacred, a serpentine representation of the Milky Way on Earth. Breathe in the mountain air, cool and clean. Breathe out, releasing all worry. You are suspended between earth and sky, between past and present. The stones around you have stood for centuries, patient and enduring. They ask nothing of you, simply be here. In this moment, in this ancient place where humans once lived in harmony with the mountains and the sky, feel the sun on your face, warm and gentle. Hear the wind moving through the grasses. You are safe here, held by the mountains, cradled by time itself. There is nowhere you need to be, nothing you need to do. Just breathe and be. The Inca chose this location with great care. Machu Picchu sits at the intersection of several sacred sightlines. To the east rises Huayna Picchu, the young peak, which can be climbed via a steep trail. To the south stands Machu Picchu mountain itself, and surrounding the city are numerous other peaks, many of which the Inca considered to be apus, or mountain gods. These powerful spirits protected the people in the land, and the Inca made offerings to them, especially during important ceremonies. The site's location also had practical advantages. It sits in the transition zone between the high Andes and the Amazon rainforest, giving the Inca access to resources from multiple ecological zones. They could trade with lowland peoples for coca leaves, tropical fruits, and other jungle products, while also maintaining their highland identity and culture. Machu Picchu may have served as a royal estate, a religious retreat, or an administrative center overseeing this important ecological and economic boundary. Modern archaeology has revealed much about daily life in this cloud city. Analysis of skeletal remains shows that the population came from diverse regions of the empire, suggesting that Machu Picchu attracted or required people from throughout Tawantinsuyu. Many of these individuals showed signs of hard physical labor, consistent with the maintenance and agricultural work necessary to sustain the site. The Inca didn't use money or markets as we understand them. Instead, they employed a system called mita, a form of labor tax. Citizens owed labor to the state, which might be used for construction projects, agricultural work, military service, or craft production. In return, the state provided food, clothing, and security. This reciprocal relationship formed the foundation of Inca society and economy. We know the Inca were master textiles weavers, creating cloth of extraordinary beauty and sophistication. Though fabric rarely survives in archaeological contexts, we can imagine the residents of Machu Picchu wearing colorful garments woven from alpaca and llama wool. The finest cloth, called kumbi, was woven so tightly and with such skill that it resembled silk. The Inca valued textiles more than gold, and the finest weavers enjoyed high status in their society. Speaking of gold, the Inca called it the sweat of the sun, while silver was the tears of the moon. They used these precious metals primarily for religious and ceremonial purposes, creating offerings and decorating temples. The Temple of the Sun at Cusco was reportedly covered in sheets of gold, creating a dazzling display that symbolized the sun god's power and glory. While Machu Picchu likely featured some gold ornaments and ritual objects, most of the city's beauty came from its stones and its perfect integration with the natural landscape. Let yourself sink deeper into rest. Your mind is quiet, peaceful, drifting like clouds around the mountain peaks. One of Machu Picchu's greatest mysteries is why it was abandoned. The city was built around 1450 and occupied until approximately 1540, when the residents simply walked away. Several theories attempt to explain this departure. Some scholars suggest that smallpox, introduced by Spanish conquistadors and spreading ahead of their actual arrival, devastated the population. Others propose that the civil war between the brothers Atahualpa and Huáscar disrupted the royal estate's support systems. Still others believe that after the Spanish conquered Cusco, the inhabitants of Machu Picchu voluntarily abandoned the city, perhaps joining resistance movements or fleeing deeper into the jungle. Whatever the reason, the abandonment appears to have been orderly. The Inca took their valuable possessions with them, leaving behind primarily stone structures and ceramic fragments. The jungle quickly reclaimed the terraces and buildings, and local people knew of the ruins but didn't resettle them permanently. Then, in 1911, American historian Hiram Bingham arrived in Peru, searching for Vilcabamba, the legendary lost city where the last Inca rulers held out against Spanish rule. Guided by local farmers, including a man named Melchor Arteaga, Bingham reached Machu Picchu on July 24th. He wasn't technically the discoverer in any meaningful sense. Local people had always known the ruins existed, but Bingham's expedition brought Machu Picchu to international attention. Bingham initially believed he had found Vilcabamba, but later research revealed that Vilcabamba lay elsewhere. Machu Picchu was something different, something perhaps even more remarkable. A nearly intact Inca city, preserved by its isolation in the protective embrace of the cloud forest. The decades following Bingham's expedition saw extensive excavation and, unfortunately, some damage. Bingham removed thousands of artifacts, taking them to Yale University for study. Peru has since fought for their return, with many objects finally coming home in the 21st century. The site also underwent reconstruction, with some walls rebuilt and terraces restored, sometimes not entirely accurately. Modern archaeologists and conservators now work carefully to preserve Machu Picchu while minimizing intervention, recognizing that every action taken in the present affects this irreplaceable link to the past. Today, Machu Picchu faces new challenges. Over 1 million tourists visit each year, and while tourism brings economic benefits to Peru, it also threatens the very thing people come to see. Foot traffic erodes ancient stones and pathways. Human presence disturbs the delicate ecosystem. Climate change brings more intense rains and warmer temperatures, accelerating weathering and potentially triggering landslides. The Peruvian government has implemented various protective measures, limiting daily visitor numbers, requiring guided tours, establishing specific routes through the ruins. But the pressure continues, a testament to Machu Picchu's enduring power to captivate human imagination. As we near the end of our journey, I want you to reflect on something important. Machu Picchu reminds us that human civilizations rise and fall, that even the mightiest empires eventually fade. The Inca created something extraordinary here, a city that harmonized with its environment, that honored the sun and the mountains, that demonstrated what humans can achieve when they apply ingenuity, labor, and reverence to their endeavors. But Machu Picchu also reminds us of fragility. This ancient city survived for centuries in isolation, but modern pressures threaten it in ways the Inca never imagined. And Machu Picchu is just one site among thousands, millions across our planet, all of them vulnerable to climate change, development, and the accumulated impacts of human activity. The Inca understood something we are relearning, that we are part of the natural world, not separate from it. They built their city to work with the mountains, the water, the sun. They recognized the sacred in the landscape around them. The apus, the mountain spirits, weren't just religious concepts. They represented a fundamental truth that the mountains gave life, provided water, offered protection, and deserved respect in return. Our Earth is the most important thing we have. This blue sphere spinning through space is our only home, and everything we are, everything we've built, everything we might become depends on its health and stability. Machu Picchu stands as a monument to human achievement, yes, but also as a reminder that we must be stewards, not just consumers, of the world around us. As you drift towards sleep, carry this thought with you. You are connected to everyone who has ever looked up at the stars, Everyone who has ever planted a seed and watched it grow. Everyone who has ever stood on a mountain and felt the wind on their face. You are part of an ancient lineage of humans who have loved this earth, who have created beauty upon it, who have recognized that we are temporary visitors to this extraordinary place. Thank you for joining me on this sleep journey through lost worlds. May you dream of high mountain cities where clouds drift through empty plazas, where water still flows through channels carved 5 centuries ago, where the sun rises each morning over stones that remember the hands that shaped them. May you wake refreshed, carrying with you a deeper appreciation for the wonders our earth holds and the responsibility we share to preserve them. Sleep well, traveler. The mountains will still be there in the morning, patient and eternal, waiting for the sun.